Welcome to Community Convos, a podcast and radio program from LCC Connect, with conversations about what's happening in Lansing and around mid-Michigan. Is Daedalian on the Convo once again, and joy is resistance. That's the theme of this year's Take a Stand event. It's an experience that will bring together film, storytelling, creativity, music, laughter, and community connection as well. It's going to happen on the 14th and 16th of April this year. And this year's event invites participants not to just attend, but to be creative, reflect, and discover joy as resistance. Now, joining us in the studio to talk about it is Melissa Kaplan.
Thanks for having me, Daedalian.
Thanks for coming in to talk about it. So, Take a Stand, Sit In. How many years has it been going on? And for somebody that's never even heard of it before, how did it begin?
Certainly. So Take a Stand, Sit In began in the fall of 2020, and it was created by 3 LCC faculty, Ann Heiche in history, Brad Hicks in interdisciplinary humanities, and Pam Smith in sociology. And it was created in response to the proposed teachers' strike, which the group said we're not going to do here at LCC, but we do want to do something in support of that fall, which was in response to the Black Lives Matters protests. And we want to take a stand by having faculty and staff and guest artists and community leaders come in and lead sessions, and we sit in and we learn. And they take a stand on topics of social injustice and racial justice that they're researching or teaching or passionate about or creating. And all of us sit in and we learn actions that we may be able to take as well, or we learn more about the world that we live in. And so it started the fall of COVID. It was all on WebEx, and there were 2 days, I think 4 sessions each day. I can't remember what session I attended, but I was so taken with the event and its purpose that I volunteered to become part of the organizing group and have been since then. And the group also includes Anicia Dillard, who joined at the same time I did, I think, feeling similarly. And so for a couple years, we held the event both in the fall and the spring. And we realized in order to do a really good job, our capacity as well as people's capacity to attend things here at LCC, there's always so much going on. And we'd rather do it really well once a year than twice a year and not have as many people attend or us be spread too thin. So we began, I believe it was the spring of 23, where we now do it in the spring. We just hold the event in the spring.
Yeah, that's probably a good move. And I absolutely love that you've got this theme for it each and every year. And I think this year's is probably one of my personal favorites, at least the way I envision it. Joy is resistance. What exactly does that mean to you?
Well, I love that you are responding to that theme, because without knowing that is kind of much about it, that's what we're hoping people will see. To me, joy is, in a way, it's a muscle to build our experience of joy, that with all that's going on in the world, and others might say, well, 20 years ago or 40 years ago, similarly, it's easy, and for good reason, to be overwhelmed, to feel despair, to wonder what can you do to make a difference? How do you manage your life? How do you manage the lives for your loved ones? What does the future hold? And a lot of times creativity is limited because you're exhausted and you're not, that's just not where you're putting it. But to actually kind of turn that around and look for the things that exist all around us that could bring joy, as well as the things we can create and the things we can do that bring joy. It is powerfully healing. It builds our resilience by building this, like I said, this muscle of a more positive outlook. And it gives you a sense of agency to be able to experience positive outlook and hope without it being any type of Pollyannish, like the sun will come up tomorrow. Well, it will come up tomorrow, but, it's not something that's just, oh, don't worry, be happy. It really is exercising your right to be joyful.
Right.
A big part of being human is the ability to experience joy and to create joy for others.
Yeah, to find peace in it. I guess that's a lot of the times what I think of as joy is when you're doing those activities, almost like a meditative kind of vibe for me when I'm doing something creative, for sure.
Yes.
That's the idea, is to, as you said, build that muscle.
I think so. You're focusing, like, for example, one of the things I do outside of work that's a creative practice is I'm in a writing group, and we write to prompts and we share. And while I'm doing that, I'm really focused. I'm really focused on whatever is flowing, not with, oh, is this going to be something good? Is this going to get published? Whatever. That's not the purpose of it. It's to allow your thoughts and to spark other thoughts and words to spark words in the practice of writing. You know, each creative practice has its own kind of techniques.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the world can fall away for a little bit.
It's interesting you mentioned the writing process and then also writing with other people in the area. It kind of acts as a connector. Even though you're doing your own individual thing, very often you kind of feel connected to these other people that are doing the same kind of thing. So why do you feel like creativity is such a powerful connector between people? Like, I also know that I experience this, like if I'm in a drawing class or something like that, where I'm drawing something and other people are drawing, you just kind of feel connected to everybody.
And there's probably science about this, but I think being in a room where people are both trying and learning and expressing themselves. Like, for example, in a drawing class, everybody is looking at maybe there's a still life that everybody's drawing, but everybody's seeing it from a little different angle. Different people put, different pressure on their pencil and decide, I'm going to shade this or I'm going to outline that. And you end up with a dozen drawings of this group of bottles and fruit that each one is really unique, but each person is, kind of putting themselves through that pencil, through that medium, out into the world, and to participate in that together. There's great energy. I just think it's really positive energy.
Very cool. Yeah. So 3 years now, you've been partnering with the Capital City Film Festival. How has that collaboration evolved?
It started solid and it has just continued. It is an excellent partnership for us. The film festival, first of all, I think it is one of the great events here in the Lansing area. It's really unique, and it's a renowned film festival. It's recognized as one of the top film festivals.
It is, yep.
Such a creative approach to festivals in all the different locations they have and all the different events that they have in conjunction with it, and a lot of music, a lot of interesting programming in addition to films. And I think that for us, it has expanded our audience. It's connected other people with LCC who may not have come to anything at LCC or known about Take a Stand, so it's brought more attention to that. And I think it's an opportunity for our students to get out and experience something a little different. It is an event, even though we've been doing Take a Stand on WebEx, the film festival is an in-person event. And so that started in 24, and our theme that year was investigating incarceration. And we had 3 short films and filmmaker talk discussion afterwards. Last year it was exploring environmentalism. And so again, we had short films and a filmmaker discussion afterwards. And one thing that's evolved is where in the film festival schedule it lands. The first year we were their very first event on the afternoon before their big opening night, and it wasn't as highly attended. Last year we were smack in the middle of the week, and it's a free event, whereas the majority of film festival events, you need a pass or you need a ticket. But this one, being with LCC, it's free, and it was really well attended. And I think this current year, Joy is Resistance, we've got a couple of really special things planned in addition to showing the films. We are also, this event is connecting the Mid-Michigan Environmental Action Council with LCC and the film festival, MIDMIAC, as they are called. They received an NEA Big Read grant, which means they have a book that they selected, and then over the course of this spring, they have multiple events that they're doing in the community. This is one of them, and we were asked, could we partner our Take a Stand event with the Environmental Council? While our theme isn't environmental, I am the person who views all the films, and I'm on the film selection committee for the festival too. The actions that happen in regards to the environment, Joy as Resistance is very much depicted. And I looked for films that would show that in a number of ways. One of the films is a PBS series called Wild Hope, and it's one of the episodes of that, and it's Reclaiming Bear River, and it's about a indigenous tribe in the Northwest who has reclaimed land, and they are rehabitating it, reworking it to bring back its wildness, what it had been. So they, in a sense, are resisting the tendencies of development and extraction to reclaim this land, repurpose it to its wildness. Another film which takes place in Flint is about community gardens there, and the power of creating your own food source in a community where, the water has been deadly and where the groceries are limited and not always accessible by foot or to neighborhoods. So to create these community gardens brings joy by working with the earth and resistance to the situation in which a lot of residents find themselves, which is not having the resources that they need to live a healthy life. So they're resisting that by taking charge. Another film that at first glance you wouldn't think connect to the environment, but to me it's very much about Joyous Resistance, is about a dancer. It's a Brazilian film, and she has low vision, and yet she dances. And in common narrative for dancers is you need to have all your physical senses in order to dance.
You would think.
She resists that, and she responds to the environment. She might be dancing outside, but whatever her environment is, she is using her senses in different ways. She may not see the way that people with full sight would, but it doesn't mean that she can't dance. So she's finding joy in her art, and she is bringing joy to others, and she's resisting a common narrative. I mean, we live in a world where narratives serve a purpose to identify, groups and possibilities, but they can really limit. And I think there's joy in expanding one's idea of one's own limitations. And that film really
it sounds beautiful.
It is. It really is. And then there's two other short films. You'll Have to Come, and we've got some of the filmmakers coming. And a cool thing is we're starting the event with a community sing.
Yeah.
Sally Potter, who is, for those who know the folk community or who, are familiar with the Great Lakes Folk Festival, she is an absolutely wonderful community sing leader. And you don't have to be a singer. And you don't even have to sing. We're going to start with 15 minutes. She's going to have music of songs of resistance. I think there are going to be people there who like to go to community sings. So I'm excited about that, too, because I think our audience is really going to be a mix of LCC, people from the Environmental Action Council audience, people interested in community sing, film festival, just really building community. And I think that's, to me, that is the heart and soul of our partnership with the Capital City Film Festival, is building and strengthening our community.
That's great. And to go back to the beginning again, we talked a little bit about it, but you need a pass for most of the events. This is still a free event, right?
Yes.
As far as this part goes.
Right. Our evening on Tuesday, April 14th at 6 o'clock, there's no charge for that.
Yep. Okay, very cool. So what are you hoping people walk away with after the filmmaker panel and especially the community sing?
I hope they feel uplifted. I hope they feel a sense of power in their own creativity, in their own ability to also be part of a community that raises their voices together, that watches films together, that asks questions together, that is interested in these topics together.
Well, I've seen Sally do her community sings before, and it's always a fun time. So, hopefully people get a chance to participate. This is the first time you're hosting a full day of in-person sessions. So why was it important to expand it into that format?
For us and for our organizers, and I'll mention that our team is myself, Ann Heiche, Brad Hicks, and Anicia Dillard. The four of us are the Take a Stand team. This is a great opportunity to do something in person. We've talked about it from the beginning, but with COVID, we couldn't.
Yeah.
And then for accessibility, providing sessions on WebEx not only gives our community here a chance to participate, but it lets us bring in presenters from much further afield who can WebEx in and lead a session. But here, the idea of creative action and exercising your creative muscles and playing to whatever extent you want with different creative activities. We just thought this is a great way to do this, to bring people together, to bring the LCC community together. So the Thursday, the 16th, is for the LCC community. Students, faculty, staff, everybody is welcome. And we'll start at 10 in the morning and go till 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, you got like crocheting, beading, macrame, journaling, knitting, community mural.
So our art faculty Susan Hardy and Laurie Bishop are going to kind of create an outline of something on a large panel roll of paper. We're going to have that out on the Gannon Highway, and we're going to have materials and we're going to have guidance so that people could come and they can add to it. They can, maybe that means coloring in part of a letter. Maybe it means attaching some paper, some collaging. It will be for whatever somebody wants to contribute. And I think it's going to say the word joy. I think that's what they're planning. And then we will find the place to put that for everybody to enjoy. So we start on the highway and we'll have activities out there. In the afternoon, we'll be in the classroom that's adjacent, 2214, and we'll have different stations that people can go to. And we'll probably have puzzles. We might have games. We might have a trivia. And we have different faculty and staff who are going to be leading those stations. So you don't have to, I don't know how to knit or crochet or bead or even play trivia.
People? The people that don't really feel creative.
Like me? Well, everybody's creative. Everybody is creative.
I was going to say, you're a very creative person.
These things I've not done. So So the thing
out of your comfort zone a little bit?
Trying something new is exciting. Going in not expecting I'm going to, knit a blanket today or I'm going to have some baby booties done, but maybe you're creating a little square. Maybe you're just learning what it feels like to work with these needles and this yarn or beads or make a keychain or try your hand at trivia, or we're going to have a dance and movement session that'll either be in a theater classroom or the dance studio with Lauren Moudry, who's our LCC dance instructor, and guest artist Jared Autry, who's an LCC alum. He's with All of the Above Hip Hop Academy and Everett Dance Team. Amazing dancer, brings dance teams.
Have you ever done the dancing before?
Nope.
Okay.
We've never done that.
So brand new.
We're going to have a comedy improv session led by April Dreek in the afternoon. So both of those you can go and watch. You can go and participate. Comedy and improv, you can just sit and be in the audience and watch the fun happen, or you can participate to whatever extent you're comfortable. We want people not to be uncomfortable. We want people to have a good time and maybe meet somebody new, try something new.
The improv's new too, right?
The improv's new too.
So how does laughter fit into the theme of joy as resistance?
Well, laughter is an expression of joy. I think
it's been said that if we couldn't laugh, we'd go insane.
I think that makes sense. There's
So resisting insanity, for sure.
For sure. And I think that it's just a positive expression. It feels good to laugh. It feels good to see something that's absurd or something that's silly or something that comments in a way that surprises you, and that can make you laugh. I think movement, too, it may feel odd at first. And I will say that Lauren and Jared are very aware of the majority of people coming in are not going to be like doing dance and knowing dance, but the chance to just even move a little bit, just like we know with exercise, you move your body, you feel better. You build release those endorphins, right?
I will even say that myself personally, and I'm not the only one that feels this way in this current day and age. Occasionally, I feel a little bit overwhelmed by where we're at in the world. And I have found myself more and more often, if I'm going to sit down and just chill in front of the television, I have found myself searching out and looking for things that are going to make me laugh, even if it means the silly kitty videos on YouTube. Those kind of things kind of pick you up and they keep you going again. So yes, it is a way to resist for sure. There's
a guy who has 3 cats. I watch his reels religiously. They have these little hats and he takes them out around New York City or in the airport. Oh my goodness. They sit on the airplane. They're little pudgy, little cute cats with little hats. And it's just...
All right, you'll have to share that with me so we can put it in the show notes. We need to put that in the show notes.
I will. That brings me joy.
So what surprised you the most about it since the event has grown over the years?
First of all, the continued interest in it. And that it has legs in that giving faculty and staff and guest artists and community leaders, inviting them in to share what they know and what they care about, there's been continued interest. And then there's been continued interest in attending. Particularly, one of the things we try and do is schedule sessions on the WebEx when they can align with classes so that the faculty may use this opportunity. So that has been really gratifying. And, a lot of things we put our effort into, you try, it's okay, you try it again, maybe it doesn't work 100%. But I think the organizers, we believe in this, and the support of the Arts and Science Division, our dean, we have a Star Day of Giving fund that helps bring guest artists in. So there's a commitment to this, and that has really helped sustain it. And I think venturing into an in-person activity, what we've talked about in the past of the organizing team is, bringing this into the community, expanding it. Who knows what that means? But I think we're all really pleased with how it's been sustained.
So if somebody wanted to find out more information, we will have this in the show notes, of course, but where should they go to find that?
So our website is takeastand.openlcc.net. That will have the full schedule and the locations and the times. And yeah, that's a great place to find information. There's also the events are listed on the LCC website, the event calendar. So you would just go to those dates, April 14th or 16th, and that's a way in.
If you don't happen to be able to write it down, I will have it in the show notes, as well as just go on the Webernet there to your favorite search engine and just type in Take a Stand, Sit In, and it usually comes right at the top. So,
and the Capital City Film Festival has a whole website, and it's organized by date. So the Evening of Films will be on that for April 14th.
Oh, that's cool. Take a Stand, Sit In. It's taking place April 14th and 16th. The theme, Joy as Resistance, which I absolutely love. So congratulations to you and the steering committee for putting it all together. Is there anything else that we haven't hit on that you want to let listeners know about before we go?
Well, I feel like you are not alone in what you shared about in this time. And I think there's a lot of folks who are feeling that way. And when Ann Haichi and I were talking, she said, and I want to quote her because I think it just really relates. She said, we are intentional choosing to face all the upheaval right now, not only by not blinking at the issues, but digging deep to challenge it by expressing and experiencing joy, holding on to hope. Hope is a radical discipline.
Awesome. We're going to let Ann's words take us out. You've been listening to Community Convos, a podcast from LCC Connect. Listen to this episode and others at lccconnect.com or wherever you get your podcasts. If you or someone you know would like to feature an event on Community Convos, email us lcc-connect@lcc.edu. And thanks for joining the Convo.